Hey everyone! In this video today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this sort of glitched zigzag friendship bracelet. It has a very intricate sort of design, but it is super easy to make and I cannot wait to show you guys how to make this. So if you want to learn how to make it, then go ahead and keep on watching. Now for this bracelet you will need 12 strings in total. And of those strings, you will have 6 colors, which means you will need 2 strings of each color. And I find that this sort of pattern works out pretty well with super random colors, but of course you can follow a pattern if you want to. And I just dug out the most random colored strings that I had, and they don't particularly go together very well, at least in my opinion, but I just thought it would be fun to do something super different and random. So you can see here I have my 6 colors and 2 of each string. For this bracelet we will be working from right to left, so you would want to order your strings 1 1 2 2 3 3 4 4 5 5 and 6 6. But if you prefer to work from left to right, there is a variation on Bracelet Book that starts from left to right instead of right to left, and it just mirrors what we are going to do with this pattern today. So I will have that linked in the description box as well as the original pattern. And with this bracelet, there is a very easy way to remember how to make it, because there are only 2 steps, technically, that you will follow every time you start a new color. I have this very great number system to remember with this pattern, which is 5 4 2 2 4 5. If you like numbers, that'll be a great memorization tool for this bracelet. So for our first step, starting from the outermost right string, we are going to take it and do 5 backward knots onto the next 5 strings. So here's our P shape. Do that twice for a full backward knot. Put this one off to the side, pick up the next string, do a backward knot onto that. And then your third one. And then pick up the 4th string. And then our 5th and final string. And because this is sort of a candy stripe formation, you'll notice that I'm not tying my knots too tight yet, and I am kind of trying to knot in a sort of downward diagonal slope. And that just kind of helps make the shape early on. And our next number is 4, which means we are going to take the next 4 strands and do forward knots onto our previous working strand. So you are going to pick up the next string in line, and instead of doing a backward knot onto it, you are going to use this string to make a forward knot onto our working strand from the beginning. And then you will do that 3 more times with the next 3 strings. So there we have our 4 forward knots completed. And then the third number in the first part of our sequence is 2, which means you will take your working strand again and do 2 backward knots on the next and last 2 strings in the row. And we have a bit of a mess at the top, but don't worry about it. Once you work up more rows, it'll take a much better shape. So with our first string of our first color, we did our pattern of 5, 4, 2. And now we are going to do 2, 4, 5. So we're flipping the outer two numbers for the second strand of our first color. So what we are going to do first is take our newest outermost right strand and do 2 backward knots on the next 2 strands here. And then we are going to take the next 4 of our strands and do a forward knot onto our previous working strand. So one at a time, pick up the next string in line and do a forward knot onto the string next to it. And then put that off to the side, pick up the next string in line and do a forward knot onto that working strand. And then we'll repeat that 2 more times. Now that we have that completed, we have our last 5 strings here. So we're going to pick this working string back up and use it once again to do backward knots on all of the rest of these 5 strings. And that is the whole sequence that you follow for this pattern. It's sort of easier to break that down into 2 steps and then following those 2 steps for each of your color. So we have our second color now, and then you will repeat that again. 5 backward knots, then the 4 strings to do forward knots, and then 2 backward knots. And then once you have that carried over, you'll take the second string of your second color, do 2 backward knots on the next 2 strings, take the next 4 of your strings and do a forward knot onto this working strand, and then take this strand again and do 5 backward knots on the last 5 of your strings. And then you just keep doing that all the way across with each new color that comes up to the right side, until you have this really fun, glitchy, distorted design. So I hope you guys enjoyed this really quick and easy tutorial for today. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.